Wherefore, Series 2, Episode 23. It's been a hard year for Doomvole. All of their tour dates have been cancelled, all 7 of them, one of which was in a pub in Bristol and had felt like a massive breakthrough. They have a new album to launch and a new single out, and while they've dropped tracks online, it's just not the same as real gigs. Thus far, they've sold 6 copies of the album on Bandcamp, but this is only because Darren's mum keeps buying them for other people. They need attention. They need an audience. They know that their song, 26 Pints in Atlantis, is the best thing they've ever written. It is Red Hot Chili Peppers meets Skyclad meets Iron Maiden meets Cradle of Filth meets Pet Shop Boys. They have no doubt that this song is destined for greatness. If only they can get someone outside Darren's mum's friend circle to listen to it. All of the members of Doomvole secretly suspect that the B-side is not the greatest thing they've ever done. The idea is solid and witty. The trouble is that when you come from Gloucestershire, as did your ancestors before you, some words don't work for you. And take your brassica to the massacre is in truth one of those phrases. And unfortunately, it's most of the lyrics to the song. Everyone else seems to be doing music online. Darren is adamant that they should get in on this. They will do antisocial distancing, he reckons. They could go viral with the new one. It could be the breakthrough. This is how they end up trying to form a pentagram of sound around Stonehouse. The plan is to play live on Zoom. They already know that Zoom doesn't work for music because Darren's mum is also in a community choir and getting the timing right is impossible. But that's okay. Being in time with each other was never really their strong point anyway. Being a pentagram of antisocially distanced metal music is challenging for Doomvole because there are normally only 3 of them. The bass player, Damien Demon, was the first to point out that there is no way you can be metal and a triangle without giving people totally the wrong image. Darren's mum volunteers to play the drums. Usually they rely on pre-recorded beats, so there's a bit of a fight over whether there should be actual drums or whether they stick Darren's mum at her point on the pentagram with pre-programmed sounds on a Mac and a bloody great amplifier. Actually, they don't argue over the amplifier, that's a given. Darren's mum really wants to play an actual drum kit for the look of the thing, but only owns bongos, which is totally the wrong image. Slot number 5 eventually goes to Darren Death's girlfriend, Z. This is contentious. There are no backing vocals on 26 Pints in Atlantis, although there are a lot of screams in Take Your Brassica to the Massacre. Even in badly disjointed Zoom rehearsals, it has been obvious that Z can really sing. Dave, on rhythm guitar and Acne, has been the most vocal protester over this because it is not their sound. Her voice is too clear, too clean, too melodic. No one says too good out loud because they aren't ready to admit to that yet. Her only redeeming quality is that she can't sing and keep time on a tambourine simultaneously, which makes the rest of them feel better about everything. The plan is simple. Each of the 5 takes a vehicle to their designated location. Each will then stand on the bonnet or roof of said vehicle with amplifiers and generators as required. They've had their own power generators for a while now, ever since the Froster Beer Festival gig, where someone unplugged them to make them stop. It is important to be in control. Each performer has an accomplice with a mobile phone who is live streaming the content, and Dave's younger brother Steve has assured them he can put it all together and make it work. Doomvole are just regular guys. They work, they drink, they go to the pub, they like very loud music, and the sorts of lyrics you can shout along to, and that pretty much require a person to be wearing massive boots. They don't do magic. None of them has even heard of psychogeography. So it isn't deliberate that they have arranged their performance pentagram around the perimeters of Orion Jenkins Hill. They have no sense at all of the presence of the jazz cyclist. At the time, they don't even notice him. Orion Jenkins as a hill has no awareness of heavy metal, and none of the versions of him have heard of local band Doomvole. And so it is that he slides into sleep and hillfulness with no idea of what's going on. As the opening crash of 26 Pints in Atlantis shakes Stonehouse, Orion begins to rise. Doomvole have not previously been aware of Stonehouse turning into a hill at night. It is unfortunate that the timing suggests this is of their doing. The monstrous wall of sound booms forth so loudly that they can actually hear each other across the town, and in response to them, the ground in front of them changes shape. It seems to validate everything they've ever believed about themselves. Damien Demon howls out a paean of praise to Satan, entirely drowned out by his own bass playing. The hill climbs, and Stonehouse shudders to the sound of 26 Pints in Atlantis. Only Steve, sat at home and trying to make it all mesh together, is aware of the cyclist. He can see all 5 locations on the pentagram. He can see the same lycra-clad figure moving between each location as though there really is no distance to cover. On the first round of this, the sound isn't obvious, but as the cyclist circles again and again, it becomes ever more apparent that 26 Pints in Atlantis isn't the only performance, and that increasingly, and against all the odds, the cyclist is making more noise than the band. After a while, what Steve is broadcasting to the world doesn't even sound slightly like Doomvole. He tries to make it stop, but seems to have lost control of his own technology. This is a disaster. He can hear trumpets and a fairground organ and someone singing nonsense sounds, so that the whole Atlantis story is totally drowned out and lost. It is awful, such that it comes as a relief when the police cars start showing up at the 5 Doomvole locations. He can only hope that getting arrested will be the publicity boost they need. Darren's mum seems to be enjoying it all immensely, at any rate.